Good morning, folks. Well, good afternoon, actually. Just about missed the morning time. So, today's talk or today's wee chat I'm going to have is about women and lifting weights. And the reason being is because I was talking to one of the clients and she was talking about her friends and the resistance some of her friends still have towards lifting weights because of this story that still exists in 2021. I don't know why, that women who lift weights are going to get bulky. And we just know, like, I thought this is common knowledge now that it was pretty well known that women will not get bulky from lifting weights. What women will get from lifting weights is confidence, better body composition, look better, they'll feel better, they'll move better, they'll be able to do things that more independent because you don't require men or stronger people stronger than you to then do tasks that you feel you're not capable of doing, which leads to empowerment. And I don't understand why there is such a resistance. Maybe there is in the maybe I'm just immersed in a world where we think it's common knowledge that women should lift weights and that everyone should know this. But maybe there is somewhere outside of the world of the fitness industry this still belief, this long held belief that women lifting weights will become bulky. Listen, okay, let's knock that down. Let's end that for good. I'm gonna explain why in a very layman's term. Testosterone is the hormone that helps men build muscle. Okay, women have got it, men have got it, but women have got about 1/10 to 1/20th, give or take. There's going to be anomalies around the world. Okay, some women are going to have higher levels of testosterone, other women are going to have low. Just like men, some men are higher testosterone, others aren't. But on average, women have about 1/10 to 1/20th the amount of testosterone that men do. Now, when you consider that men go into the gym every day, even young men, 20-year-olds in their prime, and they have to lift weights like crazy, and they have to follow a strict program, and it takes months of dedicated work to get themselves to a state where they would feel masculine. They would look in the mirror and they'd be taking their tops off and they'd be doing the out bicep curls because building muscle takes time, and that's for men. Now, when you consider that, like I said, when you consider testosterone is the hormone that builds this muscle in the men, and the women who have 1/10 to 1/20th, it stands to reason that it's going to be a lot harder for women to build the muscle that they're looking at men. So they're looking at men and they're going, shit at the size end. I don't want to get those big traps. That's what women always say to me. I don't want them big traps. I don't want to be chunky. I don't want to be big. And the reality is you're not going to be. You're going to have to take what does happen now. And listen, we're in the middle. We've just started a new program. So in Primal, what I always do for the strength programs we do, test, do the program, retest. And what you find is in the first test phase, those people who have been at Primal for a year, 2 years beyond, they always surprise themselves, especially the women. Now, yesterday, Jordan, who was my ex coach, one of my ex coaches, Gareth, his sister, she's been training with us for quite a number of years. And she actually took her top off. She was the first time she was wearing a vest in her life. And I hadn't seen her arms like this. And I was like, holy shit, Jordan, you're looking fucking amazing. She's got stronger. She's got more muscle definition, but she looks leaner. She looks fantastic. And yesterday, she doubted herself. Which is another problem we're going to come on to about women lifting weights. She doubted her ability. Guys tend to overestimate their ability. Women tend to underestimate. So it's like I believe it's cultural, like this cultural conditioning that women are weak, and I would go back as far. I would go as far as say like it's been systematically built into women's beliefs that men are better than women. Women are weaker species or sex because simply men have controlled the world for so many years. Marie, do you like this? Do you like I'm not being sexist towards you? And sorry, it's one of my clients. I always wind her up, but so I believe that women have like a cultural identity problem, shall we say, of that men have always forced upon them that they're the weaker sex, which may be physically true, but isn't true at all. Like women are stronger than men. Women give birth. Men could not handle that. Men can't kick in the balls. You can't spell once right, Marie. Um, so women have got this ability to become a lot stronger than they actually believe, and Jordan proved that yesterday. Jordan, I think her last test, her one rep max was 37.5 kilo on the bench press. Yesterday she hit 45 kilos for 5 reps. The same as Marie, actually. Marie's one thing, she hit a massive PR. She had five, but her technique went on the last rep. She sort of went out of the path and lost it, but she 100% had the 5 reps. And I think she was, Marie, correct me if I'm right, 10 kilo more or something, I can't remember, than her last reps. And then there was Dawn today, there was Laura today, there was Julie yesterday. All of them have made their what was once their 1 RMs into their 5 rep maxes. Victoria's the other one, that's the other one. And the reality is, women can lift weights, make themselves absolutely strong, stronger than they've ever been, but still look very feminine, and in fact look more feminine than they did before lifting weights. And there seems to be this fear in a lot of women of the intimidation factor of walking in a gym where you've got big weights, you've got men lifting weights. It seems to be very like a masculine environment, and this seems to put a lot of women off. But this thought process is actually what's keeping women in this weaker mindset, because when you walk into the gym and you realize that you aren't going to be oogled upon, and you're not, well, in Primal anyway, I can't talk for the global gyms. I know there's a fair amount of creeps in there. But in Primal, for example, I can only talk about Primal. It's a community. No one oogles each other. No one pervs each other. No one belittles each other. No one puts each other down. Everyone encourages each other and applauds everyone else's abilities and achievements. Because ultimately, you can think of things one or two ways. You can use people's achievements to push you forward, or you can let yourself fall back. Now in Primal, we push each other and we encourage each other to encourage others to achieve the goals, and we use that as a platform to catapult our own belief systems and believe that we can achieve more, because we can see other people who were once at our levels, and they've, through consistent practice, have achieved these results. And what I enjoy about when because Primal, like, well, I've always pushed the message of Primal's gym for men over 40. And while that was my message, the reality was 30, 40% of our members are female. And I always used to get it in the ear from the girls, why do you never talk to women? It's because I'm not a woman. That's all it was. I know how a 40-year-old man thinks. I know what most 40-year-old men want. And I know how to talk to 40-year-old men with, and with me being me, I can be slightly abrupt, and a lot of women didn't like that. I've changed myself though. Ayahuasca has helped me become a different person, and I'm now talking differently, and it's more encouragement environment. But what I do notice is that the women in Primal, when they stick at it, and those who stick at it regularly and come in consistently, the results go through the roof, and their confidence and self belief. Like I said earlier on, there's an empowerment in this and not requiring you to ask for women, an empowerment for women, not requiring them to have to ask men to do physical tasks for them. And this gives them the belief inside themselves, that it creates a new belief inside themselves that they can achieve a lot more than they once gave themselves credit for. Lauren would be the perfect example. I remember there was a couple of times Lauren was doing push-ups with two guys. I've actually got a video somewhere of it, and she was hanging with the guys with push-ups, the same pace, the same speed, the same reps. In fact, I think one of the guys quit before Lauren, and that is testament to Lauren's dedication and commitment and trust in the process. Lauren has been one of the longest members there. She started, I think, a month after we opened, which is 5.5 years now. And in that time, Lauren has become this soft. She was soft. She had no strength. She had no confidence in herself. Now she walks into the room and you can sense the confidence in her. She looks absolutely amazing. She's built up this muscle. And sometimes, and Lauren, what I love about Lauren is she does not like how a lot of the programs, but she does not complain, and she just does the program. It may not be the most exciting program in the world for her. It may not be hitting the muscles the way she wants to hit them, but she just trusts the process, does what she's told, and gets the results. And year after year after year, her numbers have increased, and she's got problems with her knees. We're able to always walk around. This is another thing that, with my level of experience, not I'm blowing my own trumpet, but my level of experience and my knowledge, I very rarely encountered something that I can't solve with a change in exercise or a change in rep or a change in weight or something. And even when I do come to that point, for example, there's one of our members, Richard, and For a long time, he's been having a problem with hip hitching. It's going to the side. And I've got contacts like my wee mate Andy, who I can just do a video and get a second opinion from a high level coach, and then refer that and relay that his message or his information back to that to the client. And I always seem to be able to fix the problems. So there's this belief in society that women should not lift weights, or women are going to get bulkier. They're going to look like Arnie. They're not. Girls just aren't. It's impossible. You're going to look like Arnie. See those girls you see that look like Arnie, the CrossFit girls who have got huge traps and look very manly, very masculine. There's a pretty good chance they're A, high testosterone females, and B, juicing. I know they're going to deny it, and I don't really care, but they're juicing. Trust me. Women who look like men, women who lift weights who look like men or look more masculine than men, they're juicing. And this is something that is throughout the fitness industry. It's prevalent in CrossFit, and I'm going to get haters for that. Don't care. And it's prevalent in the physique model industry. Going to get haters for that. Again, don't care. You're getting pissed off because you know it's the truth. Now, there is some women out there who are naturally higher testosterone and don't touch gear and just have that physique. You're an anomaly, right? So I'm not insulting you. And if you get offended by it, well, tough. But that's the reality. You are the reality is there is there's been a massive uptake in women using steroids, and then these photo shoots, these competitions they're doing, they're looking ripped and they're looking sort of masculine. And here, if that's your bag, that's your bag. I'm not judging for it, by the way. I'm just saying that's what it is. But there are a lot of women who would look at those women and think to themselves, who are inexperienced in lifting weights, and will look at those women and think to themselves, I don't want to look like that. If I lift weight, they're lifting weights and they look like that. Therefore, I won't lift weights because I don't want to look like that. But the reality is, these are the women you see on Instagram. These are the women you're exposed to on a daily basis on social media. What most women aren't exposed to is the average girl who just comes in to build a better body and feel confident about themselves. And they are the 90%, 99% of women who lift weights. So, girls, if you fear lifting weights, if you've had a bad experience with a personal trainer or a gym that's made you feel that you're going the wrong way, why not give Primal a try? Simple. We do very well. We give women exactly what they want. Just didn't give men what they want. We know what women need and want, and we're able to deliver a program that delivers that results for them. So it's not hard to build the right body if you've got the right type of program. You can get yourself extremely strong. Now, well, we'll go into details. So we'll go into layman terms. So when you lift weights, there's the strength programs and there's the hypertrophy programs, right? So and they're both hypertrophy in a way, I suppose. But you've got the strength program that when you train strength, your muscles, what you're really training is the ability for your muscles to contract. So you're really training your nervous system. If I cut my arm off, if I had a big bicep arm, a big huge Arnie bicep, and I cut that arm off on the floor, it's not going to do anything. It's just a slab of meat. So your muscle is basically just a slab of meat. What makes it react is the neuron, the signal from the brain to the nervous system to the muscle tends to contract. Now we've seen loads of examples. Everyone's heard of the examples of normal average women, mothers who have witnessed their child being knocked down. Touch wood, it never happens, but they're able to lift the car and throw the car off the child and get their child to safety, or at least get them out of that situation. But what usually happens then is the women suffer massive, massive damages, injuries, their muscles detached, their bones shatter, all that stuff. And the other example would be the full muscle contraction would be when you get electrocuted. So the muscles will fire 100% because what we've got is a safety switch in our body. And if you think, if your body's probably only working at about 35 to 40% of its full muscle contraction, here and there's going to be people say that's wrong, whatever. Let's give an example, ballpark figure. So your muscle, your nervous system is trained to feel it's in threat. Okay, so everything in your nervous system is a threat. And this evolutionary is a good idea because when we were cavemen walking the dark cave, we were on our edge, we didn't know what was in there. Those who could run fastest, those who could react fastest, were the ones who had more likely to live in that dangerous scenario. So our nervous system is there for protection, and it always deems everything a threat. So if I put 200 kilo in front of a woman who's never lifted weights before, the chances of her lifting that weight would be probably zero unless that threat is there high enough. So the nervous system's there for protection because it understands that it's not it could be a threat and it could damage you, and it wants us to live. So what you have to do for weight training, for strength training, is you have to bring the nervous system, present the nervous system a weight that is maybe a challenge, but is not so much of a challenge that it shits itself, in layman's terms. And so it allows you to lift the weight. It's a bit of a struggle, but it then adapts, and it's that adaptation that allows the muscles to get stronger and to when the nervous system realizes this weight isn't going to kill us, this threat is not going to kill us, it then grants the body that more strength. Paul McElroy, a good friend of mine, Paul McElroy, had a great slow saying. I'm gonna ruin it here, but it's like your body you were born with all the strength you ever required, and it's your body grants you the strength. So you've got to teach your body to allow yourself the permission to lift it. You've got to let your nervous system know that it's not a threat, and this daily exposure, continuous exposure to these sub-maximal weights is going to allow your body to develop the strength or contraction required to build the strength to lift the heavier weight. So what was once your 1 RM will soon become your 5 RM, just like the example of Jordan. She lifted a weight that was once her 1 RM max, 37.5, and she's trained sub-maximally, which means the weight that she's lifting is lower than her maximal effort. She's lifted so much and she's done so much overall volume of that weight, that it slowly but surely encompasses what was once her 1 rep max and swallows it up, making that not 1 rep max now your 3 rep max, your 5 rep max, your 10 rep max. And this is how you progressively train with weights. People jump in and thinking that they can just lift this heavy weight and they're going to get big and strong. It doesn't happen like that. Strength is training your nervous system. Hypertrophy is pushing fluid into the muscle. It's sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, or they call it. I don't think it's the right term, but it's basically pumping the muscle. It's teaching the muscles to grow. So there's 2 types of training. And the ones that we focus on mostly in primal is the strength. We do hypertrophy, we do conditioning, but we do like to focus on a foundation of strength and mobility and build everything on top of that. And that is why our ladies are not big, bulky girls, but they are strong as hell. So listen, hope that's explained a bit, put a few rumours to bed and settled some girls' nerves. Share this video with girls who are getting freaked out about lifting weights, and because ultimately those are the girls that lifting weights will improve their life exponentially. So yeah, sorry for the wee ramble today. I'm about to take a dog out for a nice walk. It's a good day. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you all hopefully tomorrow.